Good evening and welcome to TC Network. I am Tingnay Tim Hokip bringing you today's news. Today's top headlines include Kuki Zo bodies condemn brutal killing of 3 individuals in Assam's Cachar, calls it extrajudicial killing, demands impartial investigation. 12th Manipur Legislative Assembly budget session to commence from July 31. 12 Maoists, including 5 women, killed in Gadchiroli encounter. News in details. The Kuki Inpi Manipur came along with other Kuki Zo bodies such as Committee on Tribal Unity (KOTU), War Kuki Zo Intellectual Council (WKZIC), Kuki Students Organization General Headquarters (KSO), Kuki Students Organization Delhi and North Capital Region (KSOD and NCR), Kuki Women Organization for Human Rights (KOHOR), and other organizations condemns in the strongest term the cold-blooded murder of 3 Kuki Zo individuals, Lal Lung Oy Mar 21 years, Joshua Mar 35 years, and Lal Biak Kung Mar 33 years by the Assam Police on July 16, 2024 in Assam's Cachar district near the Assam-Manipur border. In its press statement, Kim states that this grievous incident has not only shocked our community, but has also raised serious concerns about the conduct and accountability of law enforcement agencies in the region. Despite the Assam Police claims of an encounter where 3 Mar militants were killed in an early morning operation, the incident is rather a clear case of extrajudicial killing. Contrary to the Assam Police claim, video footage surfaced on social media clearly showing the Assam Police stopping the 3 youths while they were traveling in an auto rickshaw and taking them into custody. Regrettably, the 3 apprehended youths later ended up in the mortuary of Silchar Medical College and Hospital (SMCH), becoming victims of a well-staged fake encounter. The incident reflects the plight of the Kuki Zo people, who do not have a separate administration of their own. The release further said that it is as well a grave violation of the rights and privileges of the Kuki Zo people as equal citizens of the country. The incident therefore is an earnest call to the government of India to expedite a permanent political solution for the Kuki Zo people to safeguard their rights and privileges. Kuki Inpi mourns the tragic death of her beloved brethren and stands in solidarity with the bereaved families. The Kuki Zo people will remain resolute in their quest for truth and in the fight against the injustice perpetrated against our community since the beginning of the ethnic violence in the Manipur region. The Kuki Inpi Manipur also urges all relevant agencies and stakeholders to prioritize the investigation and ensure a fair resolution to this grievous matter. The WKZIC in its press statement said the War Kuki Zo Intellectual Council is shocked to learn the news of fake encounter where 3 Mar Kuki youths, namely Lal Lung Oy Mar 21 years, Joshua Mar 35 years, and Lal Biak Kung Mar 33 years, were brutally assaulted and killed in cold blood by the Assam Police in Cachar district, Assam on the 16th of July 2024. The WKZIC strongly condemns the grievous incident where law enforcing personnel who were custodians and supposed to protect and safeguard the public apprehended the 3 youths clad in civil dress from an auto rickshaw and taking them into custody were deposited at Silchar Medical College and Hospital (SMCH) mortuary, dressed in olive combatant dress with coats. The War Kuki Zo Intellectual Council strongly condemned the barbaric and heinous crime committed by the Assam Police posing as firing encounter. The WKZIC demands extrajudicial inquiry into the fake encounter judicial killing as per law of the country and book all the culprit personnel and award appropriate punishment under Section 39 of the Army Act 1950 on a conviction by the court-martial for an offence involving absence without leave. A sentence of imprisonment which may end up to 3 years may be imposed on Article 21 of the Indian Constitution that guarantees every person the right to life and liberty, and it cannot be taken away except according to procedures established by law relating to extrajudicial killing for justice for the innocent victims in the custody of Assam Police in extrajudicial killings. The Committee on Tribal Unity also condemns the incident, saying it was a cold-blooded murder by the Assam police on the 16 July 2024 at Kabugan's Amjur Road, Cachar, Assam on purported encounter. The Kuki-Zo community have endured one of the most gruesome atrocities from a Meitei majoritarian community in the state of Manipur since the infamous 3rd May 2023 last year, with no sign of improvement in law and order to douse the situations. While the nation remains a mere spectator on the plight of the minority Kuki-Zo tribals in Manipur, the committee appeals to our neighboring states not to be influenced by policies of N. Biren Singh and his cohorts from Manipur. Therefore, the committee would urge the government of Assam to initiate special judicial inquiry or investigation into the glaring fact encounter of the 3 Kuki-Zo youths by the state police and punish those policemen involved in the crime for fair dispensation of justice. Meanwhile, the Kuki Students Organization Delhi and North Capital Region also strongly condemns the cold-blooded murder of 3 Kuki individuals. The claims of the Assam police that the said 3 men of the Mar community died in an encounter with extremists on 16 July 2024 is a blatant lie, which is clearly evident from numerous videos footage surfaced on social media. The videos clearly showed the Assam police stopping the 3 youths in their normal clothes while they were traveling in an auto rickshaw and taking them into custody. In another viral video, the 3 men were seen bound with ropes and taken to an undisclosed location in a forested area. The Cachar SP in a statement said that the 3 youths were arrested on 16 July 2024 at Krishnapur Road, and after interrogation it was revealed that the trio belonged to an unspecified terrorist group and was taken to the Buban Hills on the Assam-Mizoram border to locate the outfit's hideout. A special operation was thereby launched on the morning of 17 July 2024 around Buban Hills, during which 3 militants wearing bulletproof jackets and helmets were apprehended after being injured in a crossfire. They were later pronounced dead at SMCH. However, the viral video footage, which has now surfaced online, clearly contradicts the statement made by the Assam police, and it is best to say the police are now caught in their own inconsistent lies. The Kuki Students Organization Delhi and NCR condemns such atrocities and deeply mourns the tragic death of our beloved brethren and stands in solidarity with the bereaved families. The Kuki people will remain resolute in our quest for truth and in fight against the injustice perpetrated against our community. It is our earnest appeal to the state mercenaries to conduct a thorough and impartial investigation into the death and ensure justice to the bereaved families. The 6th session of the 12th Manipur Legislative Assembly, which is essentially a budget session, will commence from July 31 and conclude on August 12 with a total of 9 sittings. The decision to hold 9 sittings was arrived at during the meeting of Business Advisory Committee, chaired by Speaker T.H. Satyabrata in his office chamber from 11 a.m. on Thursday, in the presence of Chief Minister N. Biren, Opposition Leader MLA O. Ibobi, and Water Resource Minister Awangbo Newmai. On the first day of the session, legislators will raise questions, review the business report, and address demands for excess grants from 2018 to 19, budget estimates for 2024-25, and a motion for vote on accounts for 2024. There will also be discussion on the motion of thanks to the governor's address. On August 1, the session will feature questions, general discussion on the 2024-25 budget estimates, and discussions and voting on demands for excess grants from 2018 to 19 and 2024 accounts. The Manipur Appropriation No. 3 Bill 2024 and the Manipur Appropriation No. 4 Bill 2024 will be introduced and passed unanimously after discussion. The Thursday session will include questions, presentation of committee report, if any, discussion on various departments such as State Legislature, Council of Ministers, Secretariat, Municipal Administration, Housing and Urban Development, Textiles, Commerce and Industries, Public Health Engineering, Administration of Justice, and Election, followed by voting on demands for grants for 2024-25. Government bills and private members' business, if any, will also be introduced. There will be no sittings on August 3 and 4, as this falls on Saturday and Sunday. On August 5, there will be questions, discussions, and voting on demands for grants for 2024-25 for 7 departments, including Transport, Public Work Department, Information and Publicity, Cooperation, Printing, Fisheries, and Social Welfare. Government bills, if any, will also be passed. On August 6, the session will include questions and discussions on demands for grants for 2024-25 for departments such as Medical, Health and Family Welfare Services, Labor and Employment, Department of Tribal Affairs and Hills Development, Veterinary and Animal Husbandry, including Dairy Farming, Environment and Forest, and Sericulture. The August 7th session will include questions, discussion, and voting on the 2024-25 demands for grants for the Departments of Agriculture, Community and Rural Development, Power, Youth Affairs and Sports, Planning, State Academy of Training, and Minorities and Other Backward Classes and Scheduled Castes. On August 8, there will be questions, discussion, and voting on the 2024-25 demands for grants for the Police, Vigilance and Anti-Corruption Department, Fire Protection and Control, Jails, Home Guards, Rehabilitation, Minor Irrigation and Relief, and Disaster Management, while August 9 session will focus on questions, discussion, and voting on the 2024-25 demands for grants for Land Resources, Finance Department, State Excise, Sales Tax, other taxes or duties on commodities and services, Art and Culture, Tourism and Information Technology. Additionally, government bills, if any, will be introduced and passed after discussion. Private members' business, if any, will also be introduced. There will be no sitting on August 10 and 11 on account of Saturday and Sunday. On August 12, the final day of the Assembly session, there will be questions, discussions, and voting on the 2024-25 demands for grants for the Departments of Education, Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Panchayat, Water Resources, Horticulture and Soil Conservation, Science and Technology, and Economics and Statistics. The Manipur Appropriation Number 5, Bill 2024, also be introduced and passed after discussion along with any other government bills. Today at around 10 a.m., a one-day consultative meeting on drug abuse and church unification was organized at Christian Fellowship Church Tuibung by the Kuki Christian Leaders Fellowship, KCLF. The program was divided into 2 sessions. The first phase of the program was conducted based on the theme drugs abuse. The resource person of the first phase were Reverend Dr. J. Lamboy Haukip, Secretary, Social Concern KCLF, based on the topic drug abuse and the role of church leaders. Pu Sasang Vaipay, President KSO General Headquarters, on the topic the widespread of drug consumption in the society and how to encounter it. The second phase of the program was conducted based on the theme Church Unification, and resource person of the second phase were Reverend Dr. M. Thang Jose Haukip, Chairman KCLF, on the topic Pursuing Christian Unity Among the Churches in the Kuki Society. Reverend Ginkosim Singson, Vice Chairman KCLF, on the topic Challenges and Obstacles to Unity Within the Churches. Also, 8 church leaders gave a speech on the topic Effects of Disunity and Expecting Impacts of Kuki Churches Unification Movement. The 8 church leaders were Reverend Ngamboy Singsit, Gamkai Secretary KCC, Reverend Ngamlin Tauthang, Executive Secretary CBCA, Reverend Pausay Haukip, Joint Secretary KCLF, Reverend Dr. Thangchin Hup Singson, Finance Secretary KCLF, Reverend Thinlun, Treasurer KCLF, Reverend Hankolin Kipgen, Promoter EBCCF, Reverend Letngam Haukip, Secretary ECI, and Reverend Father Nethang Kipgan, BEC, respectively. After the consultative meeting concluded successfully, a discussion hour was opened for all the attendees, which was followed by a declaration of consultative meeting notes from the 3 members resolution committee. Say Boy Tautang, General Secretary, KSO General Headquarters, and Jack Moy Haukip, Education Secretary, KSO General Headquarters, made an announcement regarding the KSO Underprivileged Student Sponsors Scheme 2024. The KSO General Headquarters had arranged a scholarship for students between Class 6 to 12 who are facing financial crisis and unable to afford education due to the ongoing ethnic clashes in the state. The KSO Underprivileged Student Sponsorship Scheme 2024 is meant for the downtrodden students who have no means at all to go to school due to poverty. It has been estimated that around 500 forms have been given out so far. The KSO General Headquarters will scrutinize the candidates who apply for the scholarship on August first week. Only the deserving candidates will be informed about the mock test and personal intimation. The selected candidates will be informed regarding the date, time and place of mock test later. Since this scheme is meant only for the poorest of the poor, candidates and their families are hereby requested to not feel if they are not selected for the mock test, the KSO General Headquarters notice reads. An encounter between security forces and Naxals in Wandoli village on the Maharashtra Chhattisgarh border has resulted in the death of 12 Naxal cadres, including 5 women. Lakshman Atram, identified as one of the deceased Naxals, was a divisional committee member in charge of the Tipagat Dalam. Identification of the remaining Naxals and area searches are ongoing. Gadchiroli's Superintendent of Police, Nilotpal, stated that the deceased Maoists have been involved in various crimes including encounters, arson and murder. He emphasized that all armed formations and cadres in Uttar Gadchiroli have now been neutralized by the police, declaring the area Naxal-free. Nilotpal affirmed all armed informations and cadres in Uttar Gadchiroli have been neutralized by the police. Uttar Gadchiroli is now Naxal-free. Additionally, Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has announced a cash reward of Rs 51 lakhs for the C-60 commandos and Gadchiroli police for their successful operation. Earlier, 7 C-60 parties led by Deputy Superintendent of Police officers were deployed near the Chhattisgarh border in Wandoli village. On July 17, an encounter ensued between the Maharashtra Police C-60 team and Maoist insurgents in the forest area between Chinbati and PV-82 on the Kankar border. A heavy exchange of fire began on Wednesday afternoon and continued intermittently for 6 hours. The resulting firefight resulted in the deaths of 12 Naxal cadres. 1 police sub-inspector and 1 Jawan sustained injuries but are now out of danger, having been evacuated and shifted to Nagpur for treatment. During the area search, security forces recovered 7 firearms, including 3 AK-47s, 2 Insas rifles and 1 carbine, and 1 SLR. Security forces have intensified search operations in the region and continue to closely monitor the situation. Indian researchers could soon set sail on the largest indigenously built ocean research vessel (ORV) to unravel the deep and vast oceans for marine, metal, and mineral wealth. On Tuesday, the National Center for Polar and Ocean Research signed a Rs 839.55 crore contract deal in Goa, Garden Ridge Shipbuilders and Engineers Ltd, which is controlled by the Ministry of Defense. Over the next 3 years, the Kolkata-based shipbuilding company will build a new ORV, the first of its kind and the largest research-class vessel. It will be 89.50 meters in length, 18.80 meters in width, and have a depth of 12.50 meters. This will be the largest indigenously built ocean research vessel. It will be equipped with state-of-the-art facilities, geophysical and geological instruments, and have onboard scientific laboratories on board. It will be a national facility used for deep-sea scientific surveys and exploration required for the Deep Ocean Mission. Thamban Melot, Director and CPOR, told the Indian Express. In 2021, the Ministry of Earth Sciences launched the Rs 4,077 crore Deep Ocean Mission, and several initiatives since then have been taken to boost India's deep ocean research. The new all-weather oceanographic and multidisciplinary vessel will be equipped with a multi-beam bathymetry system, multi-channel seismic required for mapping the ocean floor, a range of ocean profilers, seabed samplers, and onboard analytics. It will permit conductivity, temperature and depth profiling and water sampling operations such as biological sampling using vertical and horizontal methods through various nets. The new ORV will help carry out surface and deep-sea mooring and data buoy operations, seabed sampling using corals and grabs, as well as rock dredging with chain bed dredgers. Atmospheric observations, surface meteorological and current measurements and collection of upper air data will be performed. The vessel will help deploy and retrieve heavy test or protocol type equipment and submersibles. The need for such a research vessel has been felt for a long time, as many of the country's existing research vessels either pose limitations in equipping the latest scientific facilities and equipment or have been decommissioned. In addition, it was not possible to perform certain mineral explorations using existing vessels, and Indian researchers would often have to hire international vessels. Even though NCPOR, along with other research institutions like the National Institute of Oceanography, National Institute of Ocean Technology, and Geological Survey of India, own research vessels, most of them are ill-fitted for deep-sea ocean exploration. With the number of deaths due to suspected Chandipura virus rising to 16 on Thursday, Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel held a high-level review meeting of the measures being taken to control the spread. So far, 14 districts have reported 33 cases, out of which 16 have died, while one of them has been confirmed to be Chandipura vesiculovirus (CHPV). Speaking to media in the evening, Health Minister Hrusikesh Patel said, "There is nothing to be feared about, as only one case out of 7 samples has been confirmed to be of Chandipura virus. We have deployed the health teams and appeal to everyone not to panic and instead reach the hospital in case of any fever. This virus is not contagious like the coronavirus." In the review meeting, the Chief Minister was informed that 260 teams of the Health Department monitored 56,651 persons in as many as 11,050 households. In a health bulletin late in the night, the government said the state has 30 cases of viral encephalitis, including Sabarkantha 7, Aravali 4, Mahisagar 1, Kheda 1, Mehsana 2, Rajkot 2, Surendra Nagar 1, Ahmedabad City 2, Gandhinagar 2, Panchmahal 2, Jamnagar 2, Morbi 3, and Gandhinagar City 1. It said that out of these cases, 1 case from Aravali district has been confirmed as Chandipura virus. The release stated that out of 30 cases, 15 patients have died, while 1 patient from Rajasthan passed away during treatment. The state has 2 patients from Rajasthan, while 1 from Madhya Pradesh. The Rajasthan tribal community has demanded the creation of a new state called Bhil Pradesh, a demand which the state government has already rejected. The tribal society has demanded the formation of the new state by combining 49 districts of Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Madhya Pradesh. There is also a demand to include 12 districts out of the old 33 districts of Rajasthan in the new state. 35 organizations, including Adivasi Parivar, the largest organization of Bhil society, had called a mega rally on Thursday. Maneka Damor, founder member of the Adivasi Parivar Sanstha, said at the rally that tribal women should not follow the instructions of the pandits. Tribal families do not apply sindoor, do not wear Mangal Sutra. Women and girls of the tribal society should focus on education. From now on, everyone should stop fasting. We are not Hindus, she said. The Adivasi Parivar Sanstha is spread across the 4 states. Bharat Adivasi Party (BAP) MP Rajkumar Roth from Banswara said the demand for Bhil Pradesh is not new. The BAP is raising this demand strongly. After the mega rally, a delegation will meet the President and the Prime Minister with the proposal. Apart from Rajasthan, tribal people from Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and Maharashtra gathered for the meeting held at Mangat Dham in Banswara. The security agencies of the state were on alert over the meeting, and the internet was also shut down in the area of the mega rally. The demand for Bhil Pradesh includes 12 districts of Rajasthan and 13 districts of MP. Tribal Minister Babulal Kharadi said a state cannot be formed on the basis of caste. If this happens, other people will also make demands. We will not send a proposal to the center. Kharadi added that those who change their religion should not get the benefit of tribal reservation. Sources say that the tribal staged a show of strength before the start of the monsoon session of parliament. Meanwhile, State Minister Madan Dilawar on Thursday apologized for his DNA remarks on tribals' genealogy. He said, "Hindus are the best part of the society. If my speech has caused any pain to the opposition or to my tribal brothers, I apologize," Dilawar said in the assembly amid a ruckus by the opposition. On June 21, Dilawar, while responding to a question on the tribal leaders' remarks that they and their supporters were not Hindus, said, "We will ask his ancestors whether he is a Hindu or not. And if he says that he is not a Hindu, then we will get his DNA tested whether he is his father's son or not." Viper, short for Volatiles Investigating Polar Exploration Rover, was a robotic mission intended to land near the moon's south pole and spend 100 days scouting for lunar ice deposits. The rover was slated to launch in 2025 to the moon aboard an astrobotic Griffin lander as part of NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services Initiative (CLPS). Now, it appears Viper will be scrapped for parts of potentially sold to industry. The decision to axe the Viper mission was announced today, July 17, in a teleconference. Canceling the program is expected to save the agency an additional $84 million in development costs. NASA has spent about $450 million on the program so far, not including launch costs. Despite the cancellation, NASA leadership stressed that the program was successful thus far and that the termination was solely a budgetary concern. "We were very confident in the Viper team. This really gets down to cost and a very constrained budget environment in the United States," said Joel Kearns, Deputy Associate Administrator for Exploration at NASA headquarters in Washington during today's teleconference. "First and most important, this is in no way a reflection of the quality of the work from the mission team that are working to build this rover," said Nicola Fox, Associate Administrator of NASA's Science Mission Directorate. "They have worked diligently, including through the pandemic, to be able to build this rover to look for water on the moon. This is a very tough decision, but it is a decision based on budgetary concerns in a very constrained budget environment," Fox added at the end of the teleconference. At the time of its cancellation, the Curse-sized Viper was completely assembled and undergoing environmental testing to ensure the rover could handle the physical stress of launch and the harsh environment of space. NASA is now looking to potentially de-integrate and reuse Viper scientific instruments and components for future moon missions, Kearns said today, but will first ask both U.S. and international industry partners for any interest in using the rover as is. At least 18 more people were killed and over 2,500 injured in Bangladesh on Thursday, media reports said, as violence escalated in the capital Dhaka and elsewhere over student protests demanding quota system reform for government jobs, taking the toll to 25 since the protests erupted. Witnesses say the protesters laid a siege on the state-run Bangladesh television Bhavan in the Rampura area in Dhaka and damaged its front side towards several parked vehicles, while some staff, including journalists, were trapped inside. University students in Dhaka and other cities have been holding rallies for more than a week, protesting the system of reservation in public sector jobs, including that for the relatives of war heroes who fought for the country's independence from Pakistan in 1971. At least 18 people were killed and more than 2,500 were injured in today's nationwide clashes between protesters and law enforcers and ruling party men, newspaper The Daily Star said. Earlier, the mass circulation Prothom Olo newspaper had reported there are reports of 11 deaths. While 9 of these deaths are reported from Dhaka, 1 is in Savar, on the outskirts of the capital, and 1 in southwestern Madaripur district. Private Somoy television channel said police continue to use rubber bullets, tear gas, and sound grenades to disperse the protesters. The major clashes between protesters and police erupted in the Uttara area of the capital, where several private universities are located. Authorities could not immediately confirm the identity of all, but reports suggest most of the dead are assumed to be students. Earlier, 6 people, most of them students, were killed on Tuesday, while another death was reported overnight, taking the total death toll to 18 since the protest started more than a week ago. However, police have not yet issued a statement on the casualties. The escalated violence prompted authorities to shut the metro rail inside the capital alongside the railway services to and fro Dhaka since Thursday afternoon. The government ordered the shutdown of mobile internet networks to quell the demonstrators. Bangladesh police website was inaccessible, while that of the ruling Awami League student wing Bangladesh Chatra League was hacked. Authorities deployed border guard Bangladesh personnel across the country, including the capital, to maintain law and order, the official BSS news agency reported. Government offices and banks were open as paramilitary border guard Bangladesh, riot police and elite anti-crime rapid action battalion patrol streets in Dhaka and other major cities, but the attendance appeared thin because of limited public transport. Also, many offices have asked their staff to work from home. The protesters overnight vote to enforce a complete shutdown nationwide after days of their demonstrations and violent clashes and ruling Awami League-backed students' activities that left at least 7 people dead on Tuesday. Earlier, reports suggested that Thursday violence escalated after the ruling party students' activists allegedly confronted the protesters on the streets with bricks and bamboo sticks. Law Minister Anisul Haq, meanwhile, told a media briefing on Thursday that the government decided to sit in a dialogue with protesting students and that Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina had entrusted him and Education Minister Mohibul Hossan Chowdhury with the task of the discussion. The law minister said, as promised by the Prime Minister on Wednesday, a judicial investigation committee was formed on Thursday with High Court Judge Konkar Diliruzaman and it's had to inquire into the killing in violence. He also asked them to call off the protests. Oman's Grand Mufti Sheikh Ahmad bin Hamad Al Khalili said he was surprised that Omanis were behind the deadly attack at a Sikh mosque near Muscat. The 3 gunmen who killed 6 people in the attack claimed by ISIS were all citizens, police said. We did not imagine that the perpetrators of the crime that occurred were Omani citizens, and we were truly surprised by this, Sheikh Al-Khalili said in a statement. The norm in this good country is that Omani education rejects by nature any aggression against a citizen or expatriate due to an intellectual or sectarian disagreement. The assault began on Monday evening at the Ali bin Abi Talib Mosque in the Wadi Al-Kabir neighborhood of Muscat. The gunmen were killed due to their insistence on resisting security personnel, the Royal Oman Police said. Investigations indicated the attackers were influenced by misguided ideas, the police added. Whatever the difference between the groups of the nation in perception and belief or in the practices of religious rituals, it must not lead to aggressions by some against others in their religious sanctities, Sheikh Ahmed said in an earlier statement, warning that the attack only breeds hatred and strife. 4 Pakistani citizens, an Indian and a police officer were killed in the attack. Pakistan has described it as a terrorist attack. That is all for today's news and have a pleasant evening ahead.